A major way to keep the memory of the Holocaust alive is something called the March of the Living. Julie, you're there in Krakow, Poland at the March of the Living. Tell me what it's like right there.
Yeah, we're actually in Auschwitz. It's about an hour and a half from Krakow, where we were for the last 2 days. And there's thousands, literally thousands of teenagers and other people from all over the world. I think more than 40 countries in the world are participating. There's a lot of energy here, so it's very dramatic.
Tell us exactly what March of the Living is.
So the March of the Living was started almost 30 years ago, and it was started by people who wanted to keep the memory of the Holocaust alive by bringing kids here, basically, or teenagers here, to experience what went on during the Holocaust, taking it out of the classroom and bringing them here as their classroom. They marched the 3 kilometers from Auschwitz to Birkenau, both death camps used by the Nazis in World War II, actually on Yom HaShoah, Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day. And then they go on to Israel and they celebrate at the Western Wall on Yom HaShoah, on Independence Day.
Well, you've talked to some of those kids. What are their experiences and what are they feeling themselves?
You know, I'm really pleased. We've basically talked to several kids from Florida, and you know, 2 of them at least had grandparents that were Holocaust survivors. So it's very close to people. It's very near to them. You know, we hear a lot about rising anti-Semitism, but actually, I mean, these kids, you know, they're out there, and they said their friends encouraged them to come. Non-Jewish friends encouraged them to come. So they have really quite interesting stories.
We talked before we started this interview that you've shed a few tears already. What kind of impact has it had on you?
Yeah, it's very emotional. On the one hand, you know, Krakow is a beautiful city. It's beautiful. It's the one city the Nazis didn't destroy. And on the other hand, I'm thinking, gee, you know, 70 years ago, what evil was done here? One thing that we're finding out a lot here is how the Polish people kind of relate to this as they're the victims too. It had the highest number of Jews that were killed in the Holocaust came from Poland, but also the highest number of righteous among the nations. The highest number of people who actually saved Jews came from Poland. And those people, unlike in other places, if you were caught hiding a Jew, you would get arrested. But in Poland, if the Nazis caught you hiding a Jew, your whole family, and the Jews were shot on the spot. So yeah, there was also evil and also a lot of sacrifice here.
What do you think is the lesson for people today about the Holocaust?
You know what? Yesterday we were at this conference called Nuremberg, Hate and Justice, marking the 70th anniversary of the Nuremberg trials and the 80th anniversary of the Nuremberg laws, which basically put this the racial discrimination into practice. I think what the people there were saying is that you have to keep fighting. You have to keep speaking out. You can't let things go by. They highlighted, of course, everybody knows Raoul Wallenberg, and he was just one man, but he saved thousands of people. He was courageous. The odds were against him. And I think that would be the message, that, you know, the evil is there, and it isn't going to go away. We know that. And but it's to take courage and do the right thing at the right time, even if it costs you your life, even if it costs you whatever. You have to do the right thing at the right time.
Well, that's a great message, a great takeaway from your experience, and for those people that are listening right now. Yeah. We look forward to your report, Julie, next week on your experiences up there, and I know you're going to be heading from Auschwitz right now to Birkenau. I know it's a very solemn occasion, but thanks for joining us right now, and we'll see you in a few days.